Hey guys, thanks for coming back and tuning in to my channel. Today I am going to express my reasoning for having to deal with racism and why I am continuing to teach people about waking up to the fact of who their enemy should be. Okay. Yes, there are some people who demonstrate godlike characteristics. That is absolutely true. Um, but I can identify, and other people, we are able to identify racism firsthand without any further um, deeper looks and investigation that needs to take place, because we can sense these type of spirits from within. And that's any other way of anyone would be able to determine a racist person, because they would sense it. That's just the bottom line. That's how you're able to determine if someone is racist, because you are able to pick up on a person's spirit. Um, if you disagree with someone, say for instance, if doesn't matter what color you are, but in this case we're going to be talking about that. But just to put the color beside, whenever you disagree with someone and you can see that someone feels sad or saddened about a past history or something that they feel is unfair, if you become angry and they are very calm, the other person who is feeling really really sad about, um or not, they don't feel comfortable. When someone doesn't feel comfortable but they're not presenting um an angry side of them, and the person who's receiving the message, who's actually there to witness the person feeling like something's unfair, is causing them to feel sad or depressed, or a little bit upset, but they're not giving off any anger or anything hostile that is towards the other person that's receiving the information. If that person receiving the information becomes angry and starts to lash out over something that's sensitive within the story, then you will be able to determine if that person is racist. Because even if you did agree, or if you didn't agree, for you to lash out over something that makes someone feel sad, you would probably feel sad for them or try to comfort them. But to get angry and lash out may be the reason for that person to determine if you're racist or not, or may call you racist, or it may be you may be called racist from the person, not the particular person that is um sad about what they feel isn't unfair. Whenever they're trying to identify what racism is, because sometimes when Caucasian people, even if they were to hear someone feel like an individual were presenting themselves in a racist manner, they would feel intimidated, but they would go in an attack mode. And the person is just simply standing there saying, I feel like this person, may be against, my race, or they may not, because like I said before, people will be able to sense if someone is, racist or not, because it's just something within them. Like, you can be able to sense if someone is getting ready to steal something, or they're looking, or they give off a type of energy to make you feel like, they're going to take something from you. People sense these things, or people sense things like, I feel like this person doesn't know what they're talking about, and they're getting ready to lie or say something that's not even true. People can sense things like this. Racism is the same way. People can sense things just like that. Um, but there was a quote by one of my favorite um, members um, of the Mason family, um, Bobby Hemmett. He made one good point, and people don't talk about him that much, but I'm starting to see his videos pop up on YouTube more often. But Bobby Hemmett made a very, very, very good point. He's been all over the U.S. He's been to Florida, Atlanta. I believe he lives in Atlanta. Charlotte, North Carolina. He usually stays off the West Coast because he can pick up the different type of atmosphere, or the vibe within people's characteristics is a lot different than the East Coast, DC, Baltimore, New York, and things, and so on and so on, in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, um, South Carolina, where he's from. But Bobby Hemmett has a lot of studies to do, and I want you guys to look him up because Serious Times Media has a lot of his information. And Serious Times Media is a really, really, really good platform to watch. You learn a lot about your history, a lot of things that were not educated within the school system that you probably went to. Your families didn't even know some of the information on Serious Times Media, and that is SIRIUS Times Media, TIMES MEDIA. Serious Times Media. Go check that out. Or you can just type the name Bobby Hemmett, BOBBYHEMMIT, I believe. Maybe one M, but it will definitely pull up. But I wanted to just say that he made one good point, and that was, how people would say that, well, when the planets finish aligning up together, people will start waking up and knowing, the truth and who they really are. What is a sad thing, because I've always known the truth and who was lying in the government and who weren't telling us the truth, and some things I was just waking up to, and some things I weren't. Like, some things were just completely obvious that, this is a world that was designed around, this was a world that was interrupted by a structure that was designed through white supremacists, and it has gotten many people to follow behind these rules and regulations that pretty much destroyed a lot of the family structure, by taking the father out of the home, bringing drugs into the United States and getting people's family hooked on certain drugs, and breaking up the family, and things were just like completely chaos. So, and yes, we have to blame the people who have structured this system. Now, there are some responsibilities within everyone, and people can have their own way of living their life. And I just wanted to say that things can be interrupted by the system, because of the environment we are placed in. Yes, we can have our own environment and create our own environment. But when you are living within a system that has its own environment, you become affiliated in somewhat and become affected by somehow, in some way, that is going to have some type of effect on your lifestyle because of the structure that you are living, around or within. And that goes from, again, going to school, doing a lot of work. Some things are unnecessary, so you spend more time doing that. Now you're going to have to owe the government, but now that all of the information that you need to learn in school is on the internet and it's all free. It's almost like, wow, the people really waste their time in school when all the information is on the internet. This is another reason why people, drop out of school. Just one of the reasons why. Other reasons is because the structure of making money is a whole lot easier. It's other ways to become an entrepreneur, make money, and not even go to school, and live a life better than people who actually finish school. go to college and still can't find a job, or some do find a job, but they're not making as much as a person, was making in high school, and someone is like 30 years old and they're not even making it anywhere near what this high schooler is making. Just shortcuts that can happen that were prevented us from the majority of the people in America from achieving, because they were all, brainwashed and told to go to school and do everything the whole 9 yards, and pretty much just wasted a lot of time. But I wanted to say that, to go back to what Bobby Hemmett was saying, is that, if you are waiting for the universe, for the planets to align up together in order to take action, you may be disappointed. And he said that very clearly. He didn't say may, he said you will be disappointed. And that is another reason why, I left my job due to racism before the pandemic hit. And I was already seeking revenge on my former coordinator for treating me the way that he treated me. Oh, and other employers, coordinators also. My revenge was going to human resources and having them reported. My revenge was to writing a statement and telling them everything that I had gone through. No matter how much hard work and effort I put in, all of the mistreatment that I've gone through, I had a plan to take everything to a legal action and get things resolved. But when things didn't get resolved, I immediately had a sense that, some racism was being played, only because there's no way you can overlook a righteous statement that is giving you 100% of the answer of what's happening, what's been going on, to someone who is obligated to take your complaints and fix it and try to work their way into getting things resolved. And once they didn't, it made me look at the system, the human resource department, the whole entire company another way, if you're not going to chastise this person and they're trying to chastise a person for reporting unfair treatment at work, when people can do things the other way, the opposite way, take matters in their own hands by using deadly forces or fighting or doing something totally different. But I took matters in my own hands in a respectful way, and made a couple of complaints, and it still did not get resolved. So it made me feel where I automatically had a sense that, maybe, yes, some racist things are going on here at the workplace. So I've already had a plan to, eliminate this person, because I wanted to keep my job, because I had a rent to pay, and I had an entire, I had a lot of plans to take care of myself. And, I lost my home at the time, and I had to throw some things away and shorten my bags and pack and go into a shelter because of that. And I was doing so well, Now that I'm back together again, it's just like it took me a while to get back on my feet because of that, And not to mention, I believe I've already mentioned, yes, I went to apply for other jobs after that, and I got hired. And I still dealt with a little bit of racism. So that what made me feel like, okay, I'm taking some action, and I'm taking this thing to court. And the thing is that when you're with temporary agencies, there's nothing you can do with when you go to court, dealing with taking people to court. I mean, it's something you can do, but some people just, there's no way that, well, let's just be honest, people wanted, I don't believe I even had enough money to have a lawyer represent me in court. Definitely I didn't. And I immediately, took it to social media. I expressed myself on social media, and I had other people, listen to my story, and, I made a video on it. If you look at one of my old videos, it's my former racist coordinator fired me for speaking up. I talked about that. I wrote a statement on it. I put it on Facebook, put it on Twitter, Instagram, and I made my statement known publicly because it was publicly humiliating to see me having to leave my home and go through that when I put in so much work and done all that I can do and still got mistreated, at work. And it's all because I made a report and reported him. And then after I made a report and reported him for his unfair treatment, he secretly ended my assignment, and I came to work the next day and I scanned my badge to get in the gate and it did not work. And I was like, what was happening? And I ended up going around the gate and someone let me in the door because you have to scan your badge in the door also, not just in the front gate. So someone let me in, and I found out that by one of the supervisors that, they checked my name in the system and says that he deactivated my account. And they were supposed to let you know, but because he secretly did it, he was trying to get rid of me. And that's when I really went to work online. I said, okay, this is 100% racism. Because I've also seen him treat people of the same color better than he has with people of color. And I just had it. Like I said, you have no idea what I'm going through. I'm the nicest person. I have perfect attendance. I haven't missed any days of work. My production is good. I've been here for over a year, and you get rid of me because I made a statement about you mistreating me and showing favoritism. And I really wanted to keep my job, and I don't want to get fired, but I'm coming to you to write to you. And this is my letter to the Human Resources Department. I'm coming to you to let you know what I'm having to deal with. As you can see, the Human Resource Department doesn't have anything about me that says that, I should be fired or I've been doing the wrong thing. Nothing. So for him to secretly do that, I felt like, a little intimidated because, I've seen him get rid of certain people at work, and I don't want to be the next one in line for him to be getting rid of because I'm in the right and he's in the wrong. Well, he ended up doing it. So I immediately took action and went directly to online and, shared everything that I could about my experiences there. And I also left a couple of reviews on Google. And I did because, I didn't intend to do it, but, it was just like, I was hurt and I didn't want anyone else to be hurt. And I wanted to warn other people, that there is some racism going on inside of this facility and it needs to be resolved immediately. But I was already ready to go for action then, so I didn't really need the planets to line up. And that is another reason I wanted to talk about that, because when someone has the great ideas and the great plans and to get a job done to save humanity, and that person has some very good skills within them, and you want to do a scientific experiment, which would be the Caucasian man's thing. A scientific experiment is like, let's say for instance, let's say I was going to be famous and people heard about my story and what I've gone through with my family, and let's just say I didn't have any family support, and let's just say I was really talented and really gifted and people knew it. And instead of them coming to save me right away, which you can be saved in different type of ways, but instead of them coming to save me and get me and place me in a position to speak, to teach other people, let's just say they wanted to do a scientific experiment to see how I act before I get to the place of presenting myself to a world to teach other people to get them on the same page. And, by them doing that, that will be wasting time, So the best thing to do is just bring me to the forefront and have people listen to what I'm saying instead of doing a scientific experiment. Therefore, we're not waiting for the planets to line up because I have everything that you need to get everyone's attention right now. But I didn't understand the universe at first. You couldn't tell me anything about the universe at first. You couldn't tell me anything because, I'm like, I am God. I know what to do. I know the plan and the action to take in order to get this job done. I don't need the universe to line up. I have the ideas in my head right now to execute the main things that is causing African Americans to not get what they deserve. Okay, so it doesn't, that's what Bobby Hemmett was saying. Some people are blessed with the answers and the right plans to execute the evil things that are in the world, but some people want the entertainment, the scientific experiment to see how much good they can get out of a person first, but really that person's ready to go to work, so, and then one of my person or someone that I watched dearly had posted, well, actually, this person had talked about something about, and it made perfect sense. The world wants entertainment. They want the help, but they also want entertainment. And to me, that is the Caucasian man's idea and plan of a scientific experiment and wasting time, because here's someone with the plans and the deals and the actions to execute certain things to get the job done ASAP and still be humble and not go overboard, but get the main jobs done and execute the things that are causing people to fail, which are certain individuals, and that's it, and go back to normal, and keep everything going back to normal like it didn't happen, because that is your protection, and it needs to go back to normal because it's supposed to be normal. It's supposed to be going, everything, your lifestyle is supposed to be righteous. People's lifestyles are supposed to be going righteously, but some people, literally are waiting for the planets to line up in order to take action. But some people are blessed with the actions to take right now, So let's just say, for instance, I have all the good ideas and the plans and what to do in order to get this job done to save African Americans. And let's just say I may not have the money right now and I may not have the tools right now, but the people who can help me does, but they're waiting for acts, they're waiting for playtime, they're waiting for the planets to line up, but the answer is right here. So if you just take me and not do a scientific experiment and hurry up and come and get me and say, what are your ideas for saving African Americans? And I give it to you, then you have the answer. We can get the job done just like that. So the scientific experiment would be wasting time, like Bobby Hemmett said. You're waiting for the planets to line up to get people's consciousness together. Some people's consciousness is already together. Ledisi even wrote a song called Add to Me. How are you going to add to me? I got everything you need. Everything. All I need you to do is just add to me and we can get the job done. Okay? It's just like the Coliseum. People want entertainment, to get the job done. How about we get the job done? That is the entertainment. And then when it's all over with, we'll still be entertained. Because we're like, wait a minute. Everything's solved. Yeah, because we got the job done. That was entertainment. And it will be entertainment for us later to see what we've done. And it will be also entertainment for everyone else to realize, what the heck? Everything changed now. Yes. So we don't need a scientific experiment. The scientific experiment cannot be from the people of my color, because the people of my color would know definitely to go get this boy, go get this man right now, tell him what his plans are. We got all the tools. Let's make these things happen. Okay? Because you would think that the people with these tools have my plans and my ideas to get the job done to save African Americans. You would think. And some of them do. But nobody's really doing anything. I mean, they are. Some things I can't even see, you know? So I do want to say that, some people have the plans and the strategic and the everything mapped out about what they should do in order to save African Americans. And I have the answer. Like, I have the answer. And other people do too. But, it may be necessary for some people to do the scientific experiment. And it may be necessary for some people to, to do the acting and things like that. It may be necessary. Yeah, the acting is always necessary. But some people are blessed with the plan to get the job done. They just need you to help them. If you don't have any ideas about how to get everything under control, come to me. I have all the answers because I've been through a lot in my life, and what really got to me is that people love to be around me, and people always have had a good vision about me being somewhere in a position that is helping to other people, but I still got mistreated only because of racial discrimination, or if it was from a colored person, it was because of how the white supremacy system has gotten them so intact within not being their righteous selves to be normalized, that they are now normal. It's now normalizing to them to be out of character when they're supposed to be something totally different. Because if African Americans weren't in a world that was normalized within a supremacist system, they would know themselves and they will look at racism a totally different way, just like I look at racism. So I'm able to spot racism out just like that. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.